welcome to this yoga class. This is a very simple yoga class, assuming that people have never done any yoga before, and it's developed from the Drew back care class, so people who've had back pain at any time in their lives and to help prevent back pain. So this is my student Helen, and I've got Anna who's helping with the technology. So before we begin, we're going to do some shaking to get rid of any tension and to warm up the joints. So the rule with this type of yoga is if it doesn't feel right, please don't do it. If it hurts, certainly don't do it. So just moving into the fingers and into the wrists, and give the hands a good shake, get rid of any tension. Now you can do this sitting down if you prefer, and really give those hands a good shake. Do whatever feels right for you. Shake off any tension. Move the whole arm, move the shoulders, get the elbows up and over, and let the knees be soft. Really enjoy that feeling. Very good if you've been sitting for a long time at the computer. Really feel that stretching. So this sort of yoga can be done at any time of the day. Best not to do it if you've just eaten. If you've got children who want to join in, let them have something balanced on their head just to make it a bit more fun for them, to try not to let it fall off, and if it falls off they have to catch it. Okay, so opening and closing at the elbows, and then great big circles with those shoulders. Now if you're sitting down, you can start moving the toes. If you're able to balance, you can balance. If you need to hold on, just hold on to something. So we're wiggling in the toes and we're giving those ankles a good turn, and opening, closing the hip. The hip only, sorry, not the hip, the knee. The knee only moves like that, so you can't shake it. And then if you need to balance, please hold on, opening into the hip. Great big circles. Shaking out to the side, shaking in front, shaking behind. Good, and now the other foot, wiggle the toes, move into the ankle, opening, closing, and big opening of the hip, and shaking in front, shaking behind, shaking to the side, and then give the whole body a good shake. Reach up and reach down. Keep the knees soft as you bend. Keep the knees soft as you come back up. Shaking all the way around. And now just take the feet a little bit further apart. If you don't have a yoga mat, just make sure you're not on a slippery floor surface. Just swinging the arms very loose. Keep the knees bent. And I'm just lifting up the back heel just to give me a bit more movement. So we're just loosening up, really good. Been sitting still at work or more than usual. If you've been doing any housework, you feel a bit stiff. Okay, so now let's turn the shoulders, rotate the shoulders, and you'll see that the elbow is coming up. So we're doing big circles. Turn to look at the elbow so that you're getting a little bit of movement into the neck, keeping the knees soft. And now big stretch with the elbow coming up, and your arm's going to start coming further down towards the knee. So a scooping movement. So one elbow's up and the other hand is coming down. So you're using the whole body. Excellent. Make that movement a bit smaller. Okay, and now we're going to lift the arms, keep the knees soft, whoosh. Really feel that lovely movement. Obviously the children's going to be dropping their bean bags off the top of their heads doing this, and they can run around the room picking them up. Okay, so should be feeling a little bit looser now. So we always stand with our feet hip width apart, and you look down at your feet. That's the distance 2 fists would make between your fist. Keep your knees soft. Tuck your tailbone in just a little bit. Pretend you're zipping up your jeans here just to lift the tummy up a little bit. Shoulders come up, back and down so that you're standing nice and straight. Top of the head's towards the ceiling, chin is level. Big sigh. Just feel yourself standing tall and straight and strong. Take your attention to your feet. Just feel the weight evenly distributed. Now very, very slightly start to rock. The weight is going between the toes and the heels. Very slight movement. Keep it still so that all of these muscles are beginning to have to work. And now do a little rotation so that you're going to this edge, and then the front, and then this edge, and the back. And then take it round the other way. It's a very small movement. Just to feel the weight firmly planted on the ground. Okay, and now we're going to lift one arm above the head. The other hand is in a ballerina position. Stretch up, keep the chin tucked in so we don't take the neck back like that. Big breath in and breathing out, tipping to the side. Breathing in, changing the hands. Breathe out as you tip. Feel that lovely stretch opening up the side ribs. Swap hands again. Keep the shoulders relaxed and soft. Lovely sideways movement. Last time, breathing in and breathing out. Lovely side bend into the spine. Okay, relax the shoulders, and now bring the hands in front of the face and keep going up. The little fingers are touching if you're able to, all the way up, and feel that stretch down the back. If you want to, you can come up onto tiptoes, but you don't have to do that. And then bring your feet back down and relax. So this is stretching all the way down the back. Do it again. Put the fingers together. If you're sitting down, you can still do this lovely stretch. You can come onto tiptoes if you want to. And relax. Okay, put the fingertips on the shoulders and do great big circles. Really try to touch the shoulders at the front. No, not the shoulders, the elbows at the front, and touch the elbows at the back. And then once coming back the other way, feels very different that way, and then the last time taking them back again. Okay, so the fingertips just need a little bit more space. Fingertips are on the shoulders. Bring your shoulders, your elbows close together behind you. That just brings your shoulder blades together, and then push the hands away in a gentle movement. So you're just bringing in and pushing. So your shoulder blades are moving in and moving out. any tension here between the shoulder blades is just being relieved. And then finally, take the arms in a big rotation. The whole arm, not just the wrists, not just the elbows, the whole arm is rotating into the shoulder joint. Excellent. Okay, so we've really loosened up the shoulder, and now we're going to do some rotation movements of the spine. So we're going to first start with our neck. So keeping the whole body still, you can still be sitting down if you want to. Just turn, look over the shoulder. Little stretch here. Only go as far as comfortable and come back. Look over the shoulder. You might feel some creaking and crackling. That's a good sign. That means that you're lubricating those joints. And come back to face the front. This time stick the chin out a little bit, drop it down onto the chest, pull it back in. You have to try to make 3 or 4 double chins and make a circle with the chin. Don't take the chin up above the horizontal, otherwise you'll hurt the back of the neck. So really loosening up the joints, the back of the neck, and you might just feel a little nice pull here in the shoulders. And take the feet a little bit further apart, and we're just going to start that rotation now. You'll feel it here around the waist. So at the moment I've got my feet still, so I can't go very far. Little movement around the waist, and now I'm going to pick my right foot up, and I'm taking my left toes out to one side and picking my right heel up, so this time I can go all the way around. And keep your body upright, keep tall. When you get to this point, breathe in, stretch up, a little further, bit more of a twist, and then come back to face the front. Change the feet position, so I'm taking my right toes out, lifting up my back heel, breathing in, turning, lovely spiral, breathing in at this point, a little bit further, and breathing in as you come back to face the front. So my feet are hip width apart again, and I'm going to place the hands on the small of the back, so that just to support my back, I'm keeping my chin down, just a little back bend, not very far, and then come forward with a straight back, and then allow the arms to drop, bending the knees, and arm curl. So if you're in your chair, you can still be sitting up nice and strong. You can put your hands on your back, you can do a little back bend, you can come forward on towards your lap, your hands can come down towards the floor, and then you can uncurl the spine. Next time we're staying down, so a little back bend, keep the chin in, come forward with a flat back, allow the hands to drop, keep the knees bent so that you can touch the floor. If you can't touch the floor, you can have the knees really deeply bent, or you can put a couple of cushions underneath your hands and squat down if you can. Good cracking there, some good movement in the joints, they needed to be loosened up. And if you're able to balance, and put the hands back down, lift your bottom all the way up in the air, and put the feet back on the floor. Bend the knees, and and down into a squat. Lift up the hands into a balance. Put the feet, hands on the floor, lifting up. So obviously you can't do this if you're sitting in a chair, but you can still do the back movements forwards and onto your lap. Okay, uncurl. Keep uncurling. Lift the arms, big stretch. And now we're going to do it once more. We're going to go down, do some stretches in the legs. So keep the chin in. Little back bend, coming forward. Release the hands down and take the feet apart. Take both hands towards one foot. Feel a nice stretch down the back of the leg. And then walk the hands over. Feel that lovely stretch down the back of the leg. Bring the hands back into the middle and move your feet closer together. Bend the knees and uncurl slowly so that we're coming back up to standing. Excellent. I hope you enjoyed that. Lovely movement of the spine in every direction. So one of the principal things about yoga is to use our breathing to help us relax and control our movements, but also if we've got a lot of back pain, we find that if we can take deeper breaths, we can get rid of some of the pain and stiffness. So this is a little breathing exercise now. So you can sit for this if you prefer, or you can stand again with your feet starting with hip width apart. Just bring your hands in front of your belly. You can interlace them if your shoulders are not uncomfortable, or you can just keep them separate. And you're going to breathe in and breathe out. So it's a very simple movement. Breathing in and breathing out. So we're just getting aware of using our breath with the movement. I'm going to let Helen carry on while I blow my nose. Pardon?
Can I blow my nose as well?
Let's start.
Take this bit out of the video.
So, breathing in. Breathing out. Now this time we push the hands away, all the way up, and take them out to the side. Breathing in. Breathing out. Push the hands away and take them out to the side. Breathing in. Breathing out. And you can see my whole body's moving with this movement, and my lungs are filling up with air. Now if you're sitting down, carry on with that movement, but if you're standing and you're able to, we're breathing in and we're squatting down. Push the hands down, bend the knees, push away and lift up. So I'll do it sideways. You can see I'm trying to keep my back straight. Breathing in, push away and coming up. Excellent. Very good. Well done. So before we sit down and lie down, we're just going to do one last standing posture, and this is called the tree. If you are in a chair, you can do the hand movements, and if you're standing, we're going to have a different position of our feet. So you can either just literally turn one foot out to the side like that. So we're going to keep the standing leg very straight and strong. Or you can put the heel on the toes or against the ankle. Or if you can balance, you can bring the foot up to the calf area. And I can find that I can get the instep here on the calf. We don't want the foot on the knee because it'll push the knee joint. We don't want that. So we can choose our position. So we'll start with our foot just somewhere near our toes or on the floor, depending on our balance. So we're standing in our nice, strong, straight standing position, feet are hip width apart, lift your tummy muscles up, lift your chest bone, this is your sternum, nice and strong and tall. Think about a tree, beautiful time of year with spring buds on the trees. Take a deep breath in and release it. And as we breathe in, we're going to lift our arms and we're just going to put our foot on our toes like that. So standing tall and straight. And we're moving the hands down the centre line. Turn the hands away. Push the hands away and open the fingers and open the arms and allow the hands to come back down to our side and the foot to come back. Okay, so let's try again with the breath. So we're breathing in. And I've just put my foot on my foot, my one foot on top of my other foot, and I'm standing up nice and tall, all the weight's on my standing leg, which at the moment is my right leg, and I'm pretending to be a tree. And now I'm breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out, breathing in, opening myself, opening my chest, and relaxing. So let's try that on the other side. You can change the position of your foot if you want to. You can put it there or there. So, standing leg is the tree trunk. So breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in and relaxing. So you can see how good that is, how strengthening that is for the leg and for the muscles around the pelvis. So let's just do that once more on each side with your chosen foot position. So you can either have it out to the side if you're finding balance challenging today. You can put your heels on your toes, you can have your heels on your ankle, or you can lift it up. As long as when you lift it up, you don't move your hips. Like that. So, nice and strong, like a tree trunk. Okay, ready? Breathing in. Lift your foot to your chosen position. Just imagine how tall and strong you are as a tree trunk. I don't know whether you can hear the birds on the video, but imagine the birds in your tallest branches. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And relax. Excellent. Before we sit down, I'm just going to show you the movement of the hips that we're going to be working on when we're in our sitting and lying position. So we're going to be tipping the pelvis forward and back. So my tailbone is going under and back. So this is my tailbone here, my coccyx. I'm tipping it under and I'm taking it back. So I've just got my knees bent. And if you can see, if I have my hands like headlights, they face down and then they face up. And it's just the movement of this part of the spine. And we're going to be doing that in the next exercise. So Helen, if you'd like to lie down, please. We're going to lie flat on our backs. And we're lying flat on our backs with our feet hip width apart and our knees bent hip width apart. So you need the feet a little bit closer to the body and your hands down by your side, and just feel that pressure of the small of the back pressing down on the floor. And now that little tailbone tip that you've just been doing, just see if you can do that. Tiny movement of the tailbone, but we're going to try to do it without arching the spine. So we're only tipping the tailbone. So when you breathe in, pull your muscles tight, you can feel the tailbone lifting and relax. But we don't want to be able to get our fingers under our spine. So when you're quite confident that you can feel that tailbone tipping up and down, we're going to just lift the tailbone and the next bone of the spine, which is called a vertebra, and then roll it back down again. And now you can see that Helen's got a great movement. And what I'm going to do actually is go sideways on. Do you want to go sideways on? So that you can see the sideways movement. So my feet are hip width apart, my knees are hip width apart, my hands are on the floor, the small of the back is on the floor, and I'm going to lift my tailbone and put it back down. So I'm using these muscles and lifting my tailbone. And then I'm taking the tailbone and the next vertebra. The bone in the back is called a vertebra. And they're in a long line. Imagine a zip when you undo the zip and you do the zip back up. They're all those links. So we're zipping up the back. And we've got to roll it back down, one vertebra at a time, but we're not allowed to put our hands under our back. So if you can control that movement and keep coming, working your way up, one vertebra at a time, rolling all the way back down, working your way up the spine until you can lift up and your chest bone is touching the chin, and then you're going to roll back down again, one vertebra at a time. Now it might take a few weeks to reach this. So if you're finding it hard to isolate this movement, just work on the tailbone, and over the next few weeks you'll find the muscles are getting stronger and you can do the gradual progression up the spine. But the important thing is to roll back down again, keeping the small of the back in contact with the floor. Excellent. And when you've done it as much as you want to, just hug your knees in and just roll from side to side, massaging the spine. And then put the feet back down on the floor. And make sure that the small of the back is touching the floor. And my knees are hip width apart, my feet are hip width apart, and I'm going to just push the heel of my right foot along the floor, controlling it really carefully by using my tummy muscles. And then I'm bringing it back up touching it onto the floor. This muscle's working hard. And then I'm changing feet, keeping my small of my back on the floor. My chin's not up, and my chin's just tucked into my chest, which is why I'm talking a bit funny. And I'm just pushing my other heel along the floor, and I'm bringing it back in, working these muscles hard. Excellent. Let's try the other side again, both sides twice. Push the heel away. Now, if this is super easy for you, then what you could do is lift the heel just 1/2 inch off the floor and push the heel away parallel to the floor. But the back's got to stay in contact with the floor. And then bring it back in. And then you can do the same on the other side. But if you're finding it difficult to control this movement, then keep the heel on the floor. Relax. Feel that softening of the spine, the softening of the tummy. You can bring your knees into your chest again if you want to. You can have a little rotate if you want to. And this time, keep one knee up in your chest and push the other leg straight along the floor and feel that stretch in the front of the thigh of the straight leg. Big, big muscle here that controls the walking and gives us some of our back pain when we've got back pain, so it's good to stretch it. Okay, let's swap. Bring that knee up, push the other one away. Oh, that feels quite tight. Oh. Stretch it. I've got my heel pushing away to give me a little bit more stretch in my muscles. And I've got this one pulling in, so I've got softness around my left hip, and I'm stretching the front. And now bring both of them in, put them back on the floor, and again, they're hip width apart and the feet are hip width apart, and we're going to let the knees, both knees, drop over towards the right side, trying to keep the left shoulder down on the floor. And if you want to, you can turn and look over your left shoulder and feel that stretch here around your waist. Now, it might be difficult for you to bring the knees back up together, so you can bring one up and then the other one. Make sure your back is straight before you go to the other side. Make sure you've got enough space. Be careful of that thing, Hannah. Okay? So, your back straight, your knees are hip width apart, your feet are hip width apart, and you're letting your knees drop over to the left, and you're taking your chin to the right, keeping your right shoulder down so that you've got the stretch here around the right side of the waist. And then bring the top knee up, bring the bottom knee up, and just let the lower back settle for a few seconds. And you can just move that tailbone if you need to, just to ease out any tightness. Okay, now we're going to roll over onto our side. And you do need a little bit of space for this movement. So I'm lying on my right side. I've got both hands in front of me. If you need a cushion underneath your head, you can do that. And I'm going to take my left arm, which is at the moment it's straight in front of me, and I'm going to make a great big circle round And when it gets to the top, I need to bend the elbow, let that shoulder relax down onto the floor and straighten it out. And then keep the circle going so that the left arm is on the floor, touches the left hip, all the way back in a great big circle to join the right hand in front of me. So have you got enough space?
So, lots of moving.
Okay, so a great big circle with the left arm coming up, touching the floor. And when you get up to the top, just spend some time. You can bring your right shoulder blade out a little bit. Let the left elbow bend so that the hand can just trail along the floor and stretch out. So there's a lovely stretch, a lovely twist around the waist and a lovely stretch up between the arms, and then carry that circle movement all the way back. So then we're going to turn over. I'll just let Helen demonstrate it. So she's lying on her left side, making sure she's got plenty of room, and takes the right arm up over her head. When she gets to the point where it's going to start to be difficult to bring it backwards, take the left shoulder blade out a little bit, bend the elbow, and a wonderful stretch across the chest, lovely twist in the back, and keep going in a wonderful circle. Should we do one more?
Mm-hmm.
Just as well, we are family. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to move back onto your own mat. And I'm going to ask you to lie on your tummy. And just relax. That's it. So if you let your feet go as wide as the mat, and you can drop your heels in or out, whichever feels best for you. I prefer to have my heels out a little bit, and I like to have my fingers interlaced underneath my forehead so that I can relax my shoulders, I can relax the whole of my back. And this is called the crocodile, and this is an excellent relaxation pose. So the back of my neck is long, and the small of my back is soft. My legs are just relaxed with the heels out. And it's very important to have time relaxing every day. And from that position, we're going to move into the Sphinx. So we'll bring our feet a bit closer together, and we're going to have our hands next to our face with our thumbs level with our eyes. So my forehead is on the floor. And as I breathe in, I'm lifting my head in line with my back and breathing out, releasing it. So what I'm not doing is lifting up my chin. That will hurt the back of my neck. I'm just lifting with my breath and relaxing. So just get used to that movement. And when you're ready, you can breathe in, can come come all the way up and tuck the elbows underneath the shoulders. So my shoulder, my elbow are in line, in a straight line, and my hands are in front of me, my middle finger's pointing out. Now the small of my back is not being squashed, and my legs are soft, my bottom's soft, and the movement, the stretch is in the top of my spine. And then I'm going to roll slowly back down, taking the elbows out to the side, and put the forehead down on the floor. So I'm going to ask Helen now to show that again, so I can just point out the most important point of it. So Helen, if you can just take a deep breath in and lift. And you can see that her head's in line with her back. If you lift your chin up, she'll start to hurt her neck. So the head's got to be in line with the back. And then she tucks her elbows under her shoulder in a straight line, so that the shoulder's directly in a straight line down to the elbow to get the maximum stretch here in the spine without straining the small of the back. And when she's ready, she's just going to lower back down by bringing the elbows out. Okay, so what I want you to do this time is to come up again, but bring the elbows further forward so that they're here. So they're not in a straight line now, and that's beginning to give more pressure around the shoulders, but also she's not got such a nice stretch. So they're not in a straight line. So if you just bring the elbows back, perfect. So whatever position you have the elbows in, unless it's in a straight line directly under the shoulders, you won't get the maximum benefit of this position. Okay, so Helen, take the elbows out and relax back down. Try to do a little minute of relaxation between each pose, just to let the back muscles settle, because some of these movements will be quite unusual for you. So Helen, what I would like you to do now is to open the knees wide and push back. Keep the toes together. The toes are together. The knees are wide, and you're going to push back with your hands so that your bottom's aiming towards the heel. I've actually hurt my knee, so I'm not going to do that. That's it. So a lovely stretch. So you can have this as a really active pose by stretching back the arms, or you can have it as a relaxation by bending the elbows, allowing them to be on the floor, or I like to put my fists, can you put your fists like that, under my shoulder, under my forehead, and I find that very relaxing. So this is called the child pose. And from the child pose, we're going to go into the cat. So Helen, I'm going to ask you to put your hands under your shoulders and come up into what we could call a tabletop, but you might want to move away from my beautiful plant. Thank you. So your feet and knees are about hip width apart, a little bit closer in. That's it. So I'm going to do this standing up because I fell over and hurt my knee. So I'm going to do it with my hands on my thighs like that, sideways on. And we're going to do that same tucking in with our tailbone, our coccyx. So we're going to tuck the tailbone under, and then vertebra by vertebra, arch the spine, starting at the tailbone, arching up until the chin comes under. And then we'll start with the tailbone again, lift the tailbone, and let the back arch and lift the head up. So we're aiming for a sort of straight line. We don't want a big dip, otherwise that'll hurt. so almost a straight line, but just so that we get that spinal wave. So start again with the tailbone going, leading the wave, and the vertebra separate one by one. And when you've got the movement, then you can use your breath. So you might prefer to breathe in as you arch up, or breathe in as you arch down. Excellent. Okay, and now you can lie on your back and have a little relaxation. So relaxation is an important part of yoga, so you need to make yourself comfortable. So you have your legs a little bit apart, have the hands down by the side of the body, palms facing up, and just close your eyes and let all the muscles feel soft. And as you breathe, just think about where your breath is. Is it in your belly? Is it in your chest? Most of us belly breathe when we're relaxing. So at this point you might want to have got a rug. You might need a cushion under your knees, because if the lower back's uncomfortable, the cushion under the knees would keep that lower back more comfortable. You might not like lying on your back, you might need to lie on your side. If you're pregnant, please don't lie on your back. And now just start to scan the body. If you would like to, you can wiggle the toes, see if there's any tension in the feet, push the heels away. When you push the heels away, you can see the whole of the leg is tensed, and then relax the feet, and you can see the whole of the leg muscles have relaxed. If you just do that again, please, Helen. Push the heels away, and you can see she's tensed up, her kneecaps, her thighs, her calves, relax, and you can see that the legs have settled. Take your attention to your tummy, your chest, your pelvis, to the bottom muscles. You can tighten them and relax. And I find if I tuck my shoulders underneath, it lifts my chest, really relaxes my shoulders, my chest, and allows me to turn my arms a little bit out, and that relaxes across the chest. Don't forget to relax the muscles in the face. You might want to, that's it, tighten up, screw your face, stick your tongue out, waggle it around, lift your eyebrows. Even the scalp muscles can be tense and tight, and screwing up the muscles and relaxing them can really help. And scan the body again, make sure you haven't missed out any bits. Oh, Helen's squeezing her hands and relaxing her arms. And now just take the attention back to the feet and imagine warmth, maybe a warm light. I like to imagine the light of the setting sun just coming in through the soles of the feet. And as you breathe in, just allow that warmth, that rosy glow just to travel up the legs. And with each breath, it just travels further up the legs and into the body, and across the chest and down the arms and across the face. And take your time with this. This is important. Enjoy a few minutes. So you've been using some muscles that you might not have been aware that you use every day. And they just need a little bit of relaxation. And when you come out of the relaxation, just take a couple of deeper breaths. Start thinking about energizing the body. Start moving the fingers and the toes, and bringing the limbs in a little bit. And then when you're ready, you can roll over to one side, put your hand under your face. So well done everybody, I hope you enjoyed that yoga session. So these are muscles that we've been strengthening specifically for people who have back pain, but all yoga is good for all people. Quite simple movements, some of them. Some things that you can take away and repeat every day. You might not be able to spend a whole 45, 50 minutes, but you can do 2 or 3 minutes a day. Some things you can do while you're waiting for the kettle to boil, like the tree. And I hope that you have really enjoyed it. Thank you very much. As we say in yoga, namaste.